Hello and welcome to another Parts Factory Australia installation tutorial video. Today we're working on this Mazda 3. Specifically, we're going to be changing the fuel pump and of course the level sender. They're one unit and there's only one of them in the car, so it's going to be fairly straightforward. Literally we're going to lift the seat. There's going to be a little metal cap. Phillips head screws are going to remove that cap. Little ring spins off the top and of course the pump will then be exposed. Take fuel lines off, lift it out, and hopefully swap this new one in. Nice and straightforward. I'm expecting this job to take about half an hour. Might be fast, it might be slower. Just one word of advice though, guys, before you even start, take your battery terminal off, make sure the car is completely drained of all sources of electricity, including any solar or backup batteries, etc. Now, another thing, you want to be using plastic tools and a plastic mallet. You don't want any metal, because as we know, metal on metal could technically form a little spark, and we're in the fuel tank, guys, so all that vapor's rising, it could literally explode. So make sure you cover all those little steps first, little precautions, and other than that it's going to be pretty straightforward to get this job done. Alrighty guys, now if you do need this part, we have them available at Parts Factory, 148.30, free express anywhere in Australia, and if you're international, of course, we offer international postage on checkout, but it's not going to be free, of course. Other than that, guys, if you do appreciate this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you can, subscribe to the channel. I don't need to tell you why that's going to help me out. Alrighty, let's jump into it. Alrighty, guys, so first things first, you got to get this seat out of your way. Now, it's clipped in. You literally just clip it up, and grab it, drag it out of the way, but I'm pretty sure these will stop you. No, they won't. Get it completely out of the car, so that you're not having to deal with it falling and being in your way. Alright, so now grab your Phillips head screwdriver. Remember, make sure there's no electricity left in the car before we come into this area. This is the sucker here, I believe, hopefully. We're going to undo these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And hopefully this is the fuel pump. It definitely is not. So these fuel pumps, you got to take the whole tank out the bottom. Right guys, scratch half an hour. It's going to be an hour and a half minimum. Still have to do this step. We're going to unplug this wire. Screw it, it can stay, and we'll just depress this little button here and pull up on that plug, leave it out of the way. Right, this next step requires a jack, and you're going to be getting under the car and dropping the fuel tank. Okay, so let's do it. Oh. I thought that the fuel pump came out through the top, and I was wrong. That's a Mazda 6. A Mazda 3 has to come out through the bottom. So these are DIY tutorial videos, meaning you most likely don't have a hoist or a forklift. What you need to do is get the rear end of the car jacked up in the air. Put some safety stands under it. So you can jack the car here or here. Get it right up in the air and put a stand where here and here, or you know, here and here, or wherever. Make sure that you obviously know what you're doing in relation to jack stands. You can put them here, etc, etc, but you're gonna need about this much space off the ground. So get the tires about that far off the ground. It's gonna be jacked up. It's the only way, because this tank actually has to be dropped a little bit. Probably watch this video through to see first if it's easy before starting. You know what I mean? Watch it all the way through. Let's see if it's actually easy without a forklift, etc. And if it is, then you get going. So yeah, we'll just jump straight into it, I guess. So this heat shield needs to be pulled off, just like this. These little plastic screws, keep them in your pocket. Bend this heat shield down, just like so. Now it is aluminium, so it will be able to be bent back. So you're just gonna leave it like that. Now, it looks like there's a 12mm screw up here. You want to show them that. Right guys, so you have two options. Drain this tank all the way out by driving it until it stops, or, which is the better option, more common sense, pull your jack out of the car now, leave it on the jack stands, and use your jack to lower this tank down. So put your jack under with a little plank of wood like this, sideways, and remember your car's up in the air, right? And the jack will be under here. And when you undo this 12mm, as you can imagine, if it's heavy, she gonna fall. Keep your 12mm like this. Mine's dead empty. This is a wrecking yard, as you can tell. Literally drop your tank down, hoping that nothing's in our way to do this nice and easy. I'm just going to pull this tank strap out just for the purpose of this video, and that way this tank can hopefully drop straight down without any dramas. Now these can also be bent, they're just metal. Of course metal will be able to be molded back into place. Something's holding that tank up at the back. Let's have a look at the back. Of course it's a filler spout. The filler spout will hold the tank from falling, but do not put the weight on the tank. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it will hold it, but don't let it hold it. So if you come over here, Mr. Cameraman, you will see that we're actually already there. So realistically, it's actually possible to do in your driveway, because your jack's sitting here holding this tank in this position, and at this point realistically I can get these lines off right now. Okay guys, so these fuel lines, if you have a look here, you have a little pressable button. Do you see? Spring button. So I just put my hand up there and pressed it down. I pulled the fuel line off. So I'll do it again here, guys. So I'm going to press down on that button. Hopefully I'm just going to have a little bit of a struggle. I'll even use my screwdriver there, and then yeah, pull that off. That's actually super easy. So as you can imagine, you spin this ring off, which you can use a little screwdriver. I'll grab one. Okay guys, so at this point you're now kind of ready to pull the pump out. It's just this ring holding on, so you literally just spin that ring with a screwdriver like that. See how it's just going to spin around, and the fuel pump will actually pop out of the top, which is what we're looking for. Take your ring off, sticking it out of your way. The pump will have a little seal that we're going to need to reuse on the new one. A little it's a type of plastic that doesn't break down, a type of rubber that doesn't break down with the fuel. Just maybe use a screwdriver to get that initial, even just to see how I just tapping it from edge to edge, go over to the other side, all the way around. Yeah, so there you go. So once it comes, you know what I mean? And then I'll just be careful. If the fuel runs down your arm and goes into your armpit, because it's such a sensitive area, you'll be screaming. So make sure that doesn't happen. Guys, fuel pump straight up and out. Heaps of room in there. As long as you've got it jacked right up in the air, there's going to be heaps of room. And the fuel whole assembly, you can just tuck it out. You understand? Righty guys, so before we keep going, I wanted to let you know there are two types of these pumps. Basically there is a single pipe and dual pipe. My understanding is that the dual pipe is for the higher performance SP23 models and perhaps early Mazda 3s, and then they got rid of, I don't know. All I know is you need to check that. Good thing is you can check it through the top before you make the purchase, before you start the job. Get the right one. Parts Factory sells both types, so no matter what, in the description of the video, have a look, buy the right one for your car. But other than that, as you can see, I installed the level sender. Yes, so guys, yeah, as I said, get the right type, and then obviously whip your little caps off, and of course, get ready to put it back in the car. Now, I'm not gonna put a brand new one in this scrap car. I'm gonna put the second-hand one back in. As you can imagine, same procedure in the opposite direction. However, one thing you gotta remember, take that seal off this one, put it on your new one before you put it in. Otherwise you're gonna have fuel leaking everywhere. Now, We'll take the fuel pump up into the air, level sender back into the hole, doing a bit of, you know, what is it? What do they call it when they're doing bloody stretches and what's it called, that bloody sport that they do?
Yoga, Pilates?
Yeah, like some sort of Pilates. Stretching and turning it around, getting it to line up. And this is another one of those seals that we ran into with the last pump. You got to put some lube around the edge to really get it to compress in properly. But basically, you're going to get it into position, same way it came out, but back in. Yeah, it kind of will push in, and then you get it halfway in, and you put this cap on, so that as you push, it's going to be quite difficult. I might just get some fuel and lube it up a bit. I'll definitely have it lubed up. I'm out here in the field, I don't have all the access to all the stuff, but if you've got some WD-40 in your house, lube up that seal so it's slippery, that way it'll compress down a bit easier. But the job of the this fuel ring is supposed to finish it off, but I got to get it started, the actual thread itself. Once I get it started, like now, it'll go down much easier. Alrighty guys, so once you've got the ring on properly, as you can imagine, I'm not going to do mine, guys. I'm out in the field, I don't have much time, sun's going down. Once you get the ring on properly, as I said, wiggle that pump in. Cameraman hit his head. Wiggle that pump in, get that ring down, put those lines back on. Now we lift the tank back up into the air, like so. Bring the straps over. This one first, yep. Oh, which one first? So yeah, this one here's last. You're bringing it up, straps right up into the air. This will probably require some help or a jack, etc. Again, I don't really have that type of stuff out in the field here, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Remember, these things gotta be pushed back in. And at this point, okay, I can see it. Right, now, remember your 12 mil, this one here, 12 mil up. Remember, you can use your jack to assist you to do all this stuff. So make sure you're using the correct use of your tools. You can see these straps all get nice and tight. These little one-way clips, theoretically you can pull them out, and I might do it in a second. Get that nice and tight, guys. It should be pretty solid. Then you can come to these clips now, raise them out of their little surrounding thing. Exhausted. Exhausted. And then once you raise them, and you can take them, then you can kind of press them in, even with the help of a screwdriver. If you can't get them in straight away, just keep persisting. Even grab your screwdriver and maneuver the tank itself. They're quite pointless, to be honest, but I'll get haters on YouTube going, you didn't do it properly. So I'm gonna get it, try and show you how to do one anyway. You're literally just stabbing them back in, but they're, grab my pliers. All right guys, so I pulled the little male part out of the female part. You should now be able to, yeah, there you go. It pushes up into there. Literally just push it right in. Oh, that's not a very good screwdriver for using as a hammer. This one. Oh, as I said, that's literally a pointless, it's pointless. I wouldn't worry too much about that type of thing. Up here, as I said, this metal is totally malleable, so you can just bend it into place. And then the final piece of the puzzle is, of course, our little, what are they, probably 13 mil. Probably pretty crucial, these, because otherwise this will flick and flap around and make noise. Again, you want to get that up there nice. It's looking fresh. And guys, remember the few little hoses you got that want to be clipped into places. 1, 2, 3. Someone's drilled a hole in this tank, so you can see why I'm not that enthusiastic to get it all bloody perfect. She is stuffed. All right, at this point, with your jack and all that stuff, you can remove your jack, bring it to the back, jack your car back up. It's now time to take the stands out. Stands are gone, jack it down, she's on the floor, back up into the top, and I'll meet you there in a sec. Alrighty guys, so you got all your fuel hoses back on. Everything's back where it's supposed to be. Of course, it's now time to put our little plug back in the pump so that you can just start driving your car again. You get your little plate, points to the back or maybe forward, yep. You didn't lose your screws because you're more careful than I am. But of course you have your 4 Phillips head screws. They're self-tapping screws, so there's no need to have them perfectly straight. They're tapping into their own plastic. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this little piece of wire has a little bit of insulation here, so it just tucks straight through the side of the metal. And of course, you finish off by making it nice and tight so that you don't get any fuel vapor or fuel smell rising into your cabin. Of course guys, it's now time to put your seat back in, so that's pretty self-explanatory. I'll do it for you anyway. Grab your seat, bring it inside the car. Now you tuck all your seat belts through these gaps, etc. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you stab those male parts right back into the car, and you can hear those clips already lining up. 1 in, 2 in, and that is job complete guys. Start your car, put your negative turnable back on rather, fire your car up, and hopefully happy days, you got another 5 or 6 years left in your car max, unless you really look after it. No, I'm joking. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching another Parts Factory Australia installation tutorial video. If you have appreciated this video and appreciate me giving it absolutely everything I have at the end of my Saturday at 5 PM, please subscribe to the channel, please, and yeah, give it a thumbs up. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching. I'm Lucas Streb, see you next time.